I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 51 of Reaction Time Podcast. We have...
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
Oh.
You say, I'm Sam.
Well, we already say that in the intro.
I know, but do it.
Okay, I'm Sam.
I'm Jason Derulo.
Oh, my goodness. Jason Derulo is here with me.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the kid? It's like a Vine from forever ago.
Dude, I watched all the Vines.
The kid who is reading out. So there's like this calendar type thing, but the only thing it has is the first letter of every month.
Okay.
It's like J, F, M, A, right? And so he's like January, February, March, April, May, June, Jason Derulo. Because the last 6 letters are Jasond.
That's
so
amazing.
January, February, March, April, May, June, Jason Derulo. It's really funny.
I thought you were meaning the kid that's like, look at all these chickens.
Look at all those chickens. No, not that one. Even though that is also a great one.
Ugh, perfect.
Bring
back Vines.
Dude, bring back Vines.
TikTok's lame now.
TikTok was cool, and then they were like, also, now you can make 10-minute TikToks.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's
just YouTube.
Yeah. But the wrong angle.
It's so interesting to watch how every platform becomes a different platform. Basically YouTube, right? Like, and Instagram started as just Instagram.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Facebook.
Yeah.
And then it turned into TikTok. And then it turned into YouTube. And
Yeah.
it's like, holy Moses. Everything just is YouTube. The people yearn for the long form content, I guess, or something. The children yearn for the minds. Did I tell you about that?
No.
It's this thing that says in the 1920s, the U.S. government pulled the children from the coal mines. And in 2023, Minecraft was the most popular video game among children. The children yearn for the mines.
That's actually pretty amazing.
It's incredible.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, maybe it's true. We have a special episode today.
We do.
Not your typical thing.
No.
But in spirit of
Christmas.
And also in the spirit of fall and Halloween and winter and Christmas.
They have Christmas in like most of the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for like the first seventh one.
And probably the last 7th one.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, so sad. We are going to be ranking the Harry Potter movies.
Harry Potter.
From
movies.
Worst to
Not
best.
Because Sam hasn't read a book.
Yeah, movies. Because we do movies here because we do. If you want a book podcast, don't
go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we will review.
I mean, I do have a friend with a book podcast. Shout out to I'll Read What She's Reading because my friend is really cool. I haven't listened to that podcast because I will not read.
Oh, that's a good name.
I will not read what she's reading. But they're very successful at their podcast, and apparently it is dope. So good for them.
If she's reviewed Scythe, I'll give it a listen. So that's like the greatest book ever.
I'll find out.
Series.
I'll see.
Okay.
So I say we go worst to best.
Okay.
First.
Well, what would we do? Best to worst?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
No, it's more exciting.
Yeah.
Except for the problem with worst to best is that it's like exciting as you go. Mm-hmm. But then once you say your second best one,
everybody knows what the best one is.
Then you know what the first best one is.
Yeah.
I think it's more fun to go like worst until your top 2, and then you say what your best one is.
Mm.
And then
we should do that.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 8 movies.
There is 8 movies.
So I need to make sure.
Or 8 movies.
So first things first. I mean, really quickly, tell me your life journey with Harry Potter.
So, growing up, I honestly don't even know. I didn't watch them as they came out in theaters growing up.
Okay. Any of them?
Not any of them. The first one I watched in theaters was the third one.
Okay.
So the first two I watched, but I hadn't seen them in theaters. And I think I watched them like on TV like one time. So I didn't read books growing up. I still really don't. I listen to them, but there's only a select few that I actually listen to. But the third movie, we had read the third Harry Potter in reading class, English, whatever the crap it was.
Yeah.
And so that is the only movie that I've read the book first before seeing the movie.
Okay.
So we read the book, we went and saw the movie, and I hated the third movie because I had read the book, and I'm like, it doesn't match it at all, and they threw this out, and this
Classic
and that.
book reader.
Like at the end of 3, when he's riding on the broom and does like the face stretch thing, he gets that like halfway through the book. And then they think it's cursed, and they have to like kind of figure out all this other kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that's different about the third movie and the third book. So then I kind of get, start going out with my wife, and she has read all the Harry Potter books, loves the movies, loves the books. And so I started going to see them at midnight with her and like her family.
Okay.
In the theaters. So that's kind of my life story. And now it's not a tradition, but we try and watch it as often as we can because I love them.
Yeah.
And we've shown the first 2 to our kids.
The tame ones.
Yeah. After that, they get a little bit more freaky. So
that makes sense.
What's your life story? Now I've read all the books.
So I've never read a book before. So I don't care. Honestly, if I would ever read a book, it would be the Harry Potter series.
And you should listen to it because Jim Dale.
I have listened to some of it.
Okay, because Jim Dale's like the best.
And it's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I liked Harry Potter growing up. I wasn't like a mega fan or anything. And it wasn't honestly until a few years ago that I kind of spent the time to piece it all together. Because kind of what happened was, as a kid, I had seen 1 and 2 like sporadically. Just like, I don't know, just because.
Yeah.
I don't know. The third one was the first one I went to see in theaters. I think I was 8.
Okay.
I think the third one came out in 2004. That sounds right.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know why, this is like such a vivid memory for me. My mom gave me a haircut on our front porch and then took me to see Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
Just the 2 of us. And I was like,
Nice.
I don't even know if my mom knows the first thing about Harry Potter. I don't know why I can't figure out why we went.
Harry Potter? Yeah.
I haven't asked her. Anyway, and then I don't know when I saw 4. Okay. I don't think it was like immediately because I'm still young.
Yeah.
And I liked the third one, but I do remember being kind of scared also. So I think I was a little like wary of it. Don't know when I saw 4. Don't know when I saw 5. 6, I missed completely.
Oh,
until
really?
about 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
4 years ago. Yeah, missed it completely. 7 part 1, I think I missed. And then literally camped out for 7 part 2, the midnight premiere.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was more because of friends,
like buddies
and
were
less
going,
because of like, oh man, Harry Potter. I was excited for it, but I also don't know if I knew what was going on like overall. And so it had to have been about 5 years ago, maybe less, because Courtney and I were married. And I was like, we should watch all the Harry Potter movies because I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what's going on. And we get to the 6th movie and we start watching it, and I'm like, I've never seen this before, ever. Like it was never viewed by me, ever. And like at this point, I had the first movie memorized and had never seen the 6th movie and knew the last 2 pretty good. So it's like this weird mumbo jumbo whatever. And so we watched all of them, and I think we've watched all of them around this time of year. Probably like 3 or 4 out of the last 5 years. So like it's kind of becoming a tradition where it's like between Halloween and Christmas we will watch them. Because if you watch a movie a week between Halloween and Christmas, you can like do it in that span. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, so that's kind of my story. And now I'm like becoming a bigger fan of it. Every time I watch it, I like discover something new. And I do recognize that there's a lot of stuff I don't know because I haven't read the books. Okay. And that kind of bugs me. And it's getting to the point where I feel like I need to read.
If you have any questions, I can answer them for you.
I believe that.
I have recently read them. It's been a while, but I know majority.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So do you know what your worst is?
Okay, I'm actually finalizing my list right now. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I do have a lot of questions, mostly about Snape. Also, full spoilers for Harry Potter right now.
Yeah.
They've all been out for over 10 years.
And if you haven't seen them, where have you lived?
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Harry Potters, it's weird. That's one of those ones where it's weird if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney didn't watch all of the Lord of the Rings until we got married. And I made her. I was like, I love you enough to marry you without you seeing them. But now that we are married, you have to watch
That's a close, like, do I marry, do I not marry, right?
And she had agreed to watch. She watched all the Star Wars with me.
Okay.
Which is like, props to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's love.
It's also a difference between you haven't seen them and you don't like them, right?
Yeah.
If she hated them, then it's like, ooh, can't marry her, obviously, right? Unless, Courtney, if you hate the Lord of the Rings, it's totally fine. But not having seen them doesn't fully make sense, but at the same time, not everybody grew up with them.
Yeah.
Which those parents you're wrong. I'm sorry, but
that's true.
If you didn't introduce your kids to Lord of the Rings and then make them watch the extended editions, you're doing something wrong.
You know what I'm also curious about, and I don't mean to religion shame, but you don't know any Christian kids who weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter? Because I know so many, and I don't know
I don't.
I know a ton, and
I know they're banning them in schools and stuff.
I don't know if it's like, sorry if I'm wrong, I don't know if it's like Methodist or Baptist or something. There's some kind of like denomination of Christianity where it's like everything wizardry is like a big no-no.
Makes sense.
And so, but then all of these people grow up and they're like, what? And then they watch it anyway and they're like, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing.
Harry Potter's so it's so innocent.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's just good.
It's really good.
It's good messages and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's good for everybody to watch, but okay, I think I have my list. Here's the hard thing is my worst one is not a bad movie because
that's mine too.
I honestly think they're all good movies. This is just least favorite to favorite, not worst to best.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all good.
All great.
And they hold up super well. Some of the CGI doesn't hold up great.
Neville in the first one.
Especially in like the first two movies. But honestly, once the third movie hits, almost everything will probably hold up forever.
And I would also say the first two, though, there's almost more magic type stuff in those two movies.
Yeah.
So there was more chances for it to
I agree.
fail
and
or
honestly,
be harder to do.
The big thing, well, actually, the CGI problems are really only twofold, I believe. Flying is horrible.
Yeah.
And I think they fixed that come 3, because I don't think there's a lot of flying in, there's a pretty good amount of flying in 3.
Yeah.
It's different types. And the other thing is character CGI. So like the troll is no good.
Yeah.
And then come the third movie, like you look at the cave troll or whatever. It's not a cave troll. It's a whatever. It's a troll in the first movie versus like Lupin's werewolf in the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
You're 3 years apart and the quality is
way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
It's so different. So I think, the third movie, once that hit, the CGI is like, I think even the Griffin looks so good for
Griffin
2004.
looks great.
Like,
yeah.
So, and then from
Dragon
there on,
looks
just
great.
the Dementors look so
look
good.
sick.
They're so cool. So, yeah, once the third movie hits, basically visual issues kind of fly out the window in a lot of ways. And yeah. So I made my list.
Okay.
And I'm kind of surprised by it, but I have to just be honest. I'm curious to see like where our lists line
me
up.
too.
I'm actually going to write your list down too.
Okay, cool.
Just because. But yeah. So do you want to go first and give me your number 8?
Sure. So, like you said, in no way does it make it a bad movie.
Right.
But I would say out of all of them, part 1 of 7 is my least favorite.
Okay. That's a fair take. Why is that? Just a quick little snippet.
I try not to also spoil my list.
Okay.
Yeah. Mainly just because I love there's a lot more emotion in that one, which I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think this is the best of movies that got split in 2 parts. Like Hunger Games Part 1 and 2 did not need to be 2 parts.
Yeah.
The like Allegiant or whatever where they try to split in 2 parts. You know, all that kind of stuff. I hate when they split into 2 parts. But Harry Potter 7 needed it. There was way too much in there.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are some of like my favorite moments in there, like him and Hermione just dancing, like such a great moment, and like all of them turning into him at the beginning is fantastic.
It's great.
But I would just say overall, it doesn't have enough to like fully justify, even though it needs to be there. So it's my least favorite to like, oh man, I'm never like, I want to watch part 1 of 7.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to watch part 2 of 7.
Yes, I feel that for sure. For sure. My number 8 is Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
Mostly, I think it's, as far as kind of the excitement level, it's on par with Sorcerer's Stone, where it's like it's not the most exciting movie in the world, right? But I think it's less iconic. And I think that's kind of mostly what it is. Like Chamber of Secrets, when I think of that movie, the only thing I really think of is like Tom Riddle, the Basilisk, and Lockhart.
Dude, Lockhart.
When he does the confundus something charm, and it backfires on him, and he's like, "Do you live here? Who are you? And who am I?" I thought that was the funniest thing ever when I was a kid. I thought it was so
I
funny.
still do.
And it is still funny. It's still so good. His character is great.
He's the reason why I love the second one.
Yeah, and so he's really good, but like I think just the story beats of like, oh, all these people look the basilisk indirectly in the eye. And it's like cool way to do that, but I just don't think it's like super exciting.
Yeah.
And there's not like, I don't know, you just never actually worry like for Ginny or for any of these people who have been petrified. So there's not a lot of weight to it, I guess. So it's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
But there's just some of that stuff. And like the, what are the little blue fairy things called?
Oh my God.
It looks so bad. So bad.
They're tormenting all of them.
And it's just, it's hard because in the first few movies, it's kind of, it's a Harry Potter trope where it's like, new professor of the dark arts, horrible teacher, horrible person, every single time. And it's, it's like, what? How?
That's basically almost every
like
single
Dumbledore's
movie.
a great wizard, but he's also an idiot.
Yeah.
Like what? How does it work exactly?
I think when you become more and more better as a wizard,
you become dumber.
More of an idiot. Yeah.
Bingo. I think you're absolutely right. Okay, what's your number 7?
So my number 7 is going to be number 4.
Wow. Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Not for that.
That is, I actually just recently read the sentence where that happens in the book, where it says Dumbledore said calmly, and I'm like, what? Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? It is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you never read the book, it doesn't matter. Because why wouldn't he be upset?
Because how would he do that? Isn't Dumbledore the greatest wizard of all time? And he thinks Harry just bested him?
Yeah, but it happened.
And Harry's like, I wouldn't. And he's gone through all of this crap with Harry already.
Yeah.
Right? And he trusts Harry with his life at this point. And he knows Harry's intentions. He knows them. And then he's like, Harry, what did you know? It just like is a little.
The thing I'm curious about, was that an actor choice or was that a writing choice? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like the new Dumbledore because of that scene. But did he do that or did they tell him to do that?
It was probably, I would say it was a director thing.
I would assume, right?
Because I don't think anybody would like, if he read the books, the actor, if he read the books and he's like, Dumbledore said calmly. All right, I'll do calmly. You know,
my main thing
it's definitely a director thing, I would say.
My main thing is Dumbledore knows how serious those games are. Yeah. So he's probably panicking, like, oh my gosh, is Harry going to die? So he's like, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Like,
I never thought of it as more of panic than anger.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were going for.
That's what I always thought of it as.
I wonder if I try to watch it like that.
Yeah.
That it'll
like
make
he's
more
freaking
sense.
out, like, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Like, oh crap.
Yeah,
like,
he just seems a little more, he seem more angry than
he does seem more
panicked.
angry, but when people are panicked, they can be angry.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
That's an interesting take. Craig with the good take.
Yeah.
Okay, why is this towards the bottom of your list?
nothing other than the cool dragon scene is really iconic for me.
Okay.
Like,
I get that.
them going down with the mermaids is like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy,
Yeah.
and then I guess for me, this might be, I try to separate the books, but in the book, the maze is so cool.
Yeah, the maze is less than what it could be.
And it's so boring in this. It's just like, oh, I'm just
I get that.
walking through this maze, and then people get taken from it.
I totally get that.
The twist at the end's very cool, though.
That Voldemort's alive?
No, that Mad-Eye Moody was.
Oh, yeah.
So
Was Fudge, Mr. Fudge.
was Mr. Fudge's son.
Mr. Hot Fudge.
Mr. Definitely not.
I mean,
hot.
but let's just talk about for a second the iconic, meme that has come up recently. I love when memes from movies like 15 years ago pop up, and it's just like Harry shows up with dead Cedric. The band's like, bum, pick it down, bum, bum, and it's like, oh yeah, what a bop. That's my boy. It's sad. It is sad. Rest in peace, Cedric.
Oh, rest in peace, Twilight.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But another iconic thing is the dance though, and Ron.
Yeah,
and
yeah. That's good.
His dress robes
And Neville.
and Neville. What a baller. Okay,
What's your number 7?
my number 7 is Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Okay.
So basically, I think that the main reason, and there's so much good stuff in that movie. I think the main thing is Ron is so angry during the whole movie, and it kind of just gets on my nerves.
So here's
And it makes, I get it, right? It's like The Ring. It's like Lord of the Rings, basically. Because he's got the locket and super grumpy and all this stuff. But it's just like, it gets kind of tiresome.
So I need to listen more when I re-listen to the books. But if he feeds more off of it and they know that, why don't they take it from him more? And why do they have to wear it?
It's a good point.
Like
I think just to keep it safe. Keep it secret.
Can't you put it in your pocket? Maybe it would have less.
They're wizards. They don't have pockets.
Less effect on you. She's
Hashtag wizards don't have pockets.
A purse that can hold everything in the world on it.
That is absolutely true. I didn't think about that.
That's why that always bugged me.
Yeah. But I do think, is this the one where Hermione Bellatrix plays Hermione playing Bellatrix? Or is that yeah, that's this one. So it's got a lot of good stuff too. But yeah.
And you got the naked makeout scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I could do without, honestly. What's your number 6?
I remember how controversial that was when they were first talking about it.
I actually remember that too.
Okay, so my number 6 is going to be Chamber of Secrets.
Okay, look at we're kind of in the same realm.
Yeah.
Over here.
I love Chamber of Secrets. Lockhart is incredible, but I'm thinking about all the other movies and they're all just better than it.
Yeah.
So, and the Basilisk, fantastic.
The Basilisk is great.
So good. And that, honestly, I mean, you talk about how the first two don't look great, but the Basilisk in that movie is really good looking.
Yeah.
Like, they did really good.
I agree.
So.
It is good.
It is good. But the little flying blue things, don't look great.
Yeah, not great.
So.
My number 6 and my number 5 are like...
very close.
Yeah, very close. I'm going to say my number 6 is Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, really?
Which I know is like...
Okay.
A very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
It's so good.
But like, I look at the rest of them and I'm like, oh... well, I guess I'm going to spoil the next in my list. It's very close with Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
I think Sorcerer's Stone, and I'm just going to call both of these my 5.5 because honestly, it's...
They're so close.
They're so close. I think it's just the excitement factor where it's like got all the cool, the kind of the iconic stuff of Harry Potter, like the lines, you're a wizard, Harry, boy in the closet, all of that kind of stuff. But excitement-wise, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. I got to put it. I gotta put Goblet first
I was
or
gonna
last, and then Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay. Because I was going to say,
Because I think about that movie, and it's like the end is so good
It's
with
so
all
good.
the things they have to go through to get to the Sorcerer's Stone, I guess.
and I would almost say it's in some ways the most exciting because you're introduced into the world. So it might not be
Yeah.
as exciting for you anymore because there's so many
you're
other
right
things.
about that.
But like,
You're introduced to Quidditch.
you're introduced to Quidditch.
and
you're introduced-
Hogwarts,
yeah,
and
just
magic,
how
and
the owls
classes.
work, and
Yeah.
like everything like that, and flying, and
No, you're right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm doing Goblet as my 6 and
Okay.
Sorcerers as my 5.
Okay.
Okay. What's your 5?
So 6 will be my 5.
Oh, number
Prince.
6.
Yes.
Okay. It's like, what? 6 will be my 5.
Which slightly hurts me because I love 6 so much.
Yeah.
Just for when he takes the liquid luck.
Yeah.
Me and my
It's
wife
great.
quote like that all the
It's
time.
so the pincers.
The pincers. Well, by all means, come along, sir.
It is so funny. It's so good.
Hi.
He just like got so much
feel
pep in his step.
Hagrid's is the place to be tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
feel
do
like they
love.
told Daniel Radcliffe, like, have the freedom. Because that
Yeah.
is him, right?
Yeah.
He's more the Broadway, like, that kind of person. So I felt like that was him in his actual acting of just, like, being himself.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's so good.
For sure. Oh,
Oh, man. But in a way, not a ton happens in that movie in the, like, grand scheme. Like, the first good amount of it is just, like, women problems. Like Ron and Harry and all that other kind of stuff.
I mean, something important does happen at the end.
Yes.
But yeah,
I just mean, like,
No,
overall,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but Dumbledore, man. Rip.
Yeah, I know. That scene is good.
That is a good scene.
It's a really good scene.
It took me so long to like really, and I still don't think I've got it figured out, to just figure out Snape's part in all of that. And this is the most recent movie that I've watched. Actually, I just watched it like last week. And there's just so much involved and I love it.
And I also loved it because I hadn't read any of the books. Again, the only one I'd read before the movie was the third one. And so Snape doing that, going into 7 and 8, I was like, whoa, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, where most people, when they saw it, they're like, oh, man, I can't wait for everyone to know that Snape's good in the end, you know?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
didn't know
oh my
when I was
gosh,
watching these.
you're still like, is Snape evil?
But to be fair, when I watched the last ones, I had no idea. Here's the thing. I didn't know that Dumbledore was dead. I didn't know that Snape had killed him. When I watched the last 2 movies.
Oh, because you didn't remember.
I never seen 6.
Skipped.
What a weird.
So 8 just did not make sense at all. You're like, where's Dumbledore in all this?
Dumbledore's freaking lazy wizard.
Why
not
is
even,
Snape all of a sudden talking with Voldemort?
What's happening?
I don't get this.
And I don't think I questioned anything because I always just saw Snape as the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I never really looked into whether that was true or not. Yeah, it's weird. It's some weird stuff. Okay, so we've got our
top 4.
So we just did our bottom half. Here's our top half. Shirt off, fling it.
Yeah.
So
attraction.
what is your 4?
Okay. My number 4 is going to be the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. For all the reasons you mentioned.
For all the reasons I mentioned, it started it all. In some ways, it could be my number 1 because without it and how well they did, we wouldn't have all of these.
You're right.
I mean,
true.
the one thing, not the one thing, because there's so many things I can say, but one of the best things that they did with this series, there's almost nobody that is the wrong casting choice in this entire series.
For sure.
Like literally.
For sure.
Even the second Dumbledore was so good.
I have been thinking about that during this rewatch, and I love the first Dumbledore.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves the first Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But
does he work?
Could he work
in the more serious role?
In the more serious movies.
Yeah.
Because he's so light and whimsical and kind of silly, but still cool. In the first ones, could Dumbledore have gone out with style later on?
Yeah.
Could he have?
Dude, that scene.
Which one is that? Is that 4?
That's
no, that's
5.
One thing we gotta admit, Dumbledore's got style. So good. Yeah, I do think that this is. I think it's a perfect opening to the series.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they could have done a better job.
And adjusted for inflation, it's still the highest grossing.
Of the Harry Potters?
If you adjust it for inflation.
Wow.
Yeah. It sold the most tickets out of any of them.
Well, and it came out how long after the first book? Like 4 or 5 years? Because they were still writing the books while the movies were coming out.
I think the 5th book had come out.
Oh, really? Okay, let's see. Real quick.
I can't remember.
So the movie came out in 2001, right?
Yeah.
And the book
my wife would know.
Came out.
Sorry, babe. I'm failing you.
Baby girl. I think it came out in 96, but let me just check. Just tell me. Just tell me the year.
Let me just check.
The first book was published in 1997, so it was 4 years.
So maybe it was I don't know if it was one. Maybe there's only 3 books.
Let's see. Prisoner of Azkaban. Book release date. In 1999.
Okay. Wow, dang. She had 3 books in 2 years.
She was really pushing those things out. Goblet of Fire release date 2000.
Ooh, see, it might have been the 5th one.
Honestly, it might have been.
I think it was.
Order of the Phoenix. Here we go.
Order of the Phoenix.
So Order of the Phoenix came out. Oh, Order of the Phoenix didn't come out till June of 2003.
Oh, okay.
So it was 4
Probably
books.
because she was making movies.
Yeah, so 4 books, and then they started making the movies, and then they started continuing on. That's so interesting that the books were coming out simultaneously with the movies. That is bizarre to me. I don't know why.
Because in theory, you don't even know how it ends.
Yeah, but then you do early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like
it's weird.
Certain characters, like if you think of Snape, when the first movie came out, they in theory didn't know how Snape was going to end.
Yeah, you're right.
J.K. Rowling might have.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm always right.
Okay, my 4.
Yeah, what's your 4?
And it pains me to say this, is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Which is so good.
Oh.
And it's so good for so many reasons. I think the whole movie's great. The Dementors are great. Worst part about prison. The
Time Turner.
The Time Turner, that whole, everything that happens.
Hermione punching Draco.
Hermione punching Draco.
And you get to see it twice.
The Patronus. Him finding out that it's him.
Yep.
Freaking.
The Griffin.
Just the Griffin, Sirius Black, just everything.
Oh,
so
that
good.
twist is.
And finding out that they're Padfoot and all those, the names that I can't remember.
That I think was one of the best twists they had. That Sirius Black was actually good the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was freaking Harry's godfather.
It's like the second best twist in the whole thing. The first being that Snape was like a quintuple agent.
Yeah.
Freaking Snape literally out here being the hero of the entire series, and Neville.
Yeah.
Like
Neville,
you watch the first movie and you never think that Snape and Neville are the guys.
The reason why this whole thing ends.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Or that Neville is going to be the most attractive one by the end.
Right. Talk about a glow up. Good for him. And yeah, it's just good. It's just really, really good. The map. The Marauders. Is it Marauders map?
The Marauders map.
Just all of it. It's great.
Can you think about it? Nothing. Voldemort is not in that movie or book at all.
That's the only one where Voldemort's not in.
He just takes a vacation for a year. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
And it's so good.
It is so good. It's interesting. Yeah.
So I haven't even said my number. I haven't said where the third one is for me.
Okay.
But again, this was me when I first saw the third one. I hated it.
Yeah.
Because it was nothing like the books. And the more and more that I've watched the third one, the more and more I'm like, it's just such a well-made movie too.
I mean, yeah.
Not just good, but like one
It
of
is-
the best made movies out of all of them.
Did they switch directors?
Chris
Right? 'Cause
Columbus.
Chris Columbus did the third, and then all of them from there, right?
No, there's one. No, because so it's the first two was one, the third was a different one, and then Chris Columbus did. I think he did 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Okay. Let's see.
The first two's the same. I think.
This is gonna be really complicated. There's 4 directors total.
Yeah.
And who directed each of the Harry Potter movies? Here we go. Oh my gosh. Holy Wikipedia page. I am not. Okay, here we go. So Chris Columbus did the first 2. Oh, he only did the first 2?
Oh, who am
the
I thinking
heck?
of?
I'm confused. And then
Who's 5, 6,
Alfonso
7,
Cuarón
8? Yeah.
did Prisoner of
3.
Azkaban, and it was just him.
Yeah, he's the only
that
one he did. Yeah.
And then Mike Newell did Goblet of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then David Yates did the last 4 movies.
Oh, David Yates. That's who I was thinking of,
Interesting.
not Chris Columbus. Because
And
David Yates.
David Yates is significant, correct? He has done.
He did the. Oh my gosh.
Fantastic
Yes,
Beasts.
thank you. He's done all the Fantastic Beasts. First one was great. The second and third were trash. I actually never even saw the third.
I
So.
didn't even like the first one.
I love the first one.
It just did not feel like Harry Potter, which
No, it's not technically supposed
it's
to
technically
be.
not, but it's supposed to be in the world, and it didn't feel like it. So I don't know.
I like the first one.
Okay.
It was fun.
So, Craig, we're down to top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
What's your
Mine-
third best?
Number 5.
The Order of the Phoenix.
And that is all because of Umbridge.
Oh, Umbridge is good.
She is so good.
Umbridge is really good.
And Luna.
Oh yeah,
I love her.
yeah. Luna is great.
She's so good.
Yeah,
Another perfect casting.
yeah.
So
Luna. Oh, she's so good.
she's so good. She's like my favorite character. Her and then Umbridge. Because I hate Umbridge so much, which makes me love her so
Yeah.
much because she is so good at
She's
being
so
just
good.
the worst.
Do you or Lindsay watch The Crown?
No.
She's playing Queen Elizabeth in
Oh.
like the last season or the last 2 seasons or something, because The Crown has basically followed the story of Queen Elizabeth's life, and so they've had a bunch of different actresses for different periods, and she's playing the Queen, and Courtney's watching it. I will like see it in passing. I'm like, it's so jarring to
Is
see
it?
this person who I only associate with Umbridge
Umbridge.
being the Queen of
Little
England,
short
which
pink.
feel how you want to about the Queen of England, whether she killed Diana or not. I don't know. I never asked her, but
Oh, you didn't?
no, I was there, but
Oh, no.
I was there.
I still got her on speed dial.
Oh, God save the Queen. But yeah. Okay.
So the funny thing is, the 5th book, in ways, is kind of the worst one because
Really?
Harry in the 5th book. So in the 5th movie, he's moody, like really moody. But
Yeah.
in the book, it is like agonizingly moody. Like he is just so annoying in the
Interesting.
5th book. So I'm glad in the movie. I mean, he has his
They
moments,
chill it out a little bit.
but it feels more realistic rather
Yeah.
than just like it's just like this whiny kid
Yeah,
in the
I got
5th
that.
movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the 5th movie is where he got his best haircut.
For sure. I was watching it and
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
is this peak
This
Daniel
peak-
Radcliffe's head
Yes.
right now? Yeah. And he never looked as good. That was where he looked his absolute best.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed because he kissed a girl.
And he liked it.
He kissed a girl and he liked it.
That's the
taste
6th
of
one, though.
Wingardium Leviosa.
That's the 6th one.
No, he is the 5th one. The Order of the Phoenix, because remember they start the
No, it's not because she
Don't they
hides-
kiss under the mistletoe?
No, they kiss him. Oh, you're talking about
Cho
what's?
Chang.
Oh, I'm
Cho
thinking
Chang.
about.
Ching Chong.
I thought you were
Cho
talking
Chong.
about Ginny.
Oh, gross. Ugh, I don't like thinking about them together. Ugh.
Oh, I
The
like
worst-
him and Ginny.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
One of the worst couples in movie history, hands down. It's like Ray and Kylo as the worst, and then Harry and Ginny. It is disgusting.
I
but
actually did
here's
mind
the
Ray
thing.
and Kylo.
Okay. That's a discussion for another time when we rank the Star Wars movies. But
Oh gosh.
so, okay.
Number 8 is the worst.
Okay.
I could give you the ranking of Star Wars in like 2 seconds.
Dude, sometimes I think that 9's actually the worst.
Nah.
It's so safe. But 8 sucks too. Like 8 makes me mad.
The problem is, that's the
8,
problem.
8 makes me angry, but 9 sucks worse.
9's right
as a
after
movie.
8, but 8 ruined everything.
The fact that 9's like, oh, we have a Sith dagger that's going to lead us right where we need it. And we don't know where it came from, but here it is. Oh. Holy, horrible writing. It's so bad. Anyway, back to Harry Potter.
We're not talking
the important
about
thing.
Star Wars.
So my number 3 is actually Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Which I freaking love.
Mm-hmm.
Which just goes to show how much I love the other 2 on my list, which is probably going to be semi-shocking to you. But I think it's such a good finale.
Such a good finale.
So every single time I see it, I'm like, this is like a perfect finale.
Yeah.
Albus Severus, Remus Lupin, Sirius, Dumbledore, Hagrid, Harry Potter the Fifth. You are a strong wizard. His kid's name. Didn't he not put Hagrid's name in there at all? I'm like, didn't Hagrid like save your life like 900 times?
Yeah, 902 times.
And he gets no credit.
No credit.
He named his kid like one of his kid's middle names is Fang, but he didn't do Hagrid. I'm like, why, bro? I don't know. His name's longer in the book. Just look it up. But
I know I've read them.
it's so good. Honestly, one of the best things is when Neville slices the snake with the sword. Yeah. It's like when everything's right in the world for that split second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels good.
That whole movie feels like that to me.
Yeah.
When everything's right in the world.
Yeah.
You get the huge reveal about Snape.
Does Snape die in part 1 or part 2?
Part 2.
Okay.
It's like towards the very end where you find out about Snape.
Yeah. I just think that movie is so good.
It's super good.
Yeah.
Even though they've messed up the one thing that still to this day doesn't make any sense.
What?
And we've probably never even caught this. All throughout the movies, the one thing that they say about Harry's mom is that he has her eyes. And her eyes are totally different color in the flashback.
That's true. It's a
just
big oversight.
Just make the kid wear some contacts. Like,
yeah, that's a huge oversight.
it's the weirdest thing that they didn't do for some reason. I don't know.
Okay, so you got a top 2 here, and if I'm deducting correctly, it's either Deathly Hallows Part 2 or Prisoner of Azkaban as your favorite movie.
Yes.
I think I know what it is.
Okay.
Can I guess, or do you want to say it?
Sure.
I'm guessing that your number 1 is Prisoner of Azkaban.
It is.
Because I think you've told me.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about...
They're very close.
Talk to me about these 2 movies.
They're very close in terms of 8 and 3. Depending on my mood, I could even say that 8's my favorite at times. There's a couple things about 8 that I think fall a little flat.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes don't make sense. I wish the ending battle was just a teeny bit more.
Yeah.
And the other reason why I love 5 so much is because of the Dumbledore-Voldemort battle. One of the coolest things ever, right?
And also a no music battle, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it's just the sound effects. Yeah. There's no music. It's so good.
Yeah. Which has the most it's the most powerful spell in all of Harry Potter. Do you know what it is? I'll talk about it later then. Remind me.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Okay. 8 feels like it's kind of like Endgame for me.
Okay.
Where I think a lot of it is just like the culmination of everything. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic film.
It's like a good payoff.
It's a great payoff.
Yeah.
But I think 3 is just made a little better.
I got you.
everything
I think that's
flows
true.
for 3.
Yeah.
The twists, the turns, everything just is great. But 8 is like Endgame, where it's just this really nice ending wrapped with a perfect bow. I have almost zero complaints about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
3, 3's just, it's so good.
It is. It's so good.
It's so good. And it's so funny because I just hated it so much.
That is so interesting that that's like the one you remember hating and it became your favorite.
And it became my favorite because I was like, who cares? I don't care.
That's why I say books are bad for people.
Because there's a bunch of other people that are like, third one's so dumb because it's nothing like the book. And I'm like,
That's not the purpose of
that's
movies.
not the purpose of the movie.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the movie is to create the world of the books.
Exactly.
And maybe, and again, it's not that vastly different. Yes,
Right.
there are some big differences. Like he gets the broom in the middle rather than the very end of the movie. But what does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of things missing in all of the movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
There's a whole side story of freaking Percy in all of the movies, and that is just that's not even talked about
No, not
in
at
the
all.
movies at all. And in the books, he has this crazy
oh my
arc.
gosh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. There's this whole thing. The one thing I will say also about part 1, and they added it in the deleted scenes, which really doesn't make sense to me. In the books in part 1, when he leaves home, there's a moment between crap. Oh my gosh, what's the son's name?
Dudley?
Dudley, thank you.
Yeah.
All I was thinking was Dobby.
There's a deleted scene of that. Have you seen it?
Yeah, so in the book,
Yeah.
they have a moment.
Which is
It's a very good
feels like kind of a big, not a big moment, but
it
but
is.
an important one.
Yeah, because basically in the book, Harry's telling him like you need to go to this place. It'll keep you safe from everything, right? And the parents don't want to go. They're like, "Oh, we're not going to do anything with you." And Dudley's the one that's like, "No, I trust Harry.
Yeah.
We need to go." And like they share like a hug and everything, and it's a deleted scene. And I'm like, why is this not in the movie?
Dudley says something to him that's like,
and I can't remember what it is.
and it's like,
it's good.
it's good. He says
Yeah.
something about like you're like a part of my family. It's like something similar to that.
And he also like says like he saved me. He like finally admits to like the stuff, like in the 5th one where he says he's the problem for the Dementors and everything like that. Like there's this great redemption arc with Dudley, and they didn't put it in there. And it's like you split it into 2 movies, you recorded it.
Yeah.
And I just
Random fact about Dudley in the last like few movies when you see him sporadically, you know why he looks really weird? Because the actor lost a ton of weight, but they needed him to stay chubby.
Oh,
so
really?
all of it's prosthetic.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, which I didn't know because I saw him. I can't remember which movie it is. And I saw him. I'm like, he looks like sick.
Yeah.
Like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up and was like, oh yeah, he lost like 100 pounds in between movies or whatever because his doctor told him he was going to die or something. And so he lost all this weight and then they had to keep him chubby. So I thought it was funny.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'd love like an extended cut of all the Harry Potters.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm so surprised that we don't have.
Because that's the other thing. Dobby is in every single book other than the first one.
Yeah, and he's in 2 and
7.
is that it?
That's it. He's just in 2 and 7.
Yeah, it's weird.
But like he's like in the books, he like basically changes how house elves are treated.
Yeah.
Because elves are treated really poorly. And Hermione starts this whole, it's called Spew, this whole like program to like, better the lives of elves and stuff. And like Dobby's like part of that. And so that's another reason why 7, there's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of payoffs that they missed out on.
Dobby.
I mean, but Dobby, dude, like
When he dies, that's the worst.
that gets me every time, dude.
I must bury him without magic.
I know. That's so sad.
Properly. A proper burial.
proper
Without
burial.
magic. Bruv. Yeah.
Okay, so your 2 are 6 and 5.
And 5. So which one do you think is my top?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to say 5.
You're right. 5 is my top. and then 6. Now, this could be, to give out a little disclaimer, in the past month, I have watched 1 through 6, 6 being the most recent one, and I have not seen 7 and 8 in probably a year. And so maybe because those aren't as fresh on my mind, they're lower on my list. Although, I mean, 8's number 3. So
Yeah.
that could possibly
But
be
maybe it could have been 2.
Interchangeable. I just love the Half-Blood Prince and the reveal of things. And I just think it's funny, but it's still very serious. I think Dumbledore's death and just the way that gets built up and eventually ends up happening is so shocking to somebody who has no idea that that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But Order of the Phoenix.
Dude.
Every time I watch it, it reaffirms that that's my favorite movie.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And I think a big reason is Voldemort reappears in the flesh in the 4th one, right? But it's at the end.
Yes.
It's almost a post-credit scene, really. Like, it's that close to the end, right?
And only
Not
Harry
a lot
knows
happens.
about it.
Only Harry knows about it. And
obviously
Cedric. My boy. 5 feels like the beginning of the end. Like, 5 feels like the Infinity War, kind of.
Yes.
To me. You know what I mean? Where it's
the better movie.
It's like, oh, things are things are about to go down. Like something is happening now. And I just love that, at the beginning, what's the minister's name? Is it Fudge? At that point? No,
Cornelius. No.
What's his name?
Cornelius Fudge.
I don't remember.
I know who he is.
I can't remember his name.
It's another C.
I can't think of it. But
oh my gosh. Anyways, keep going.
I have to figure it out now. Hold on.
Bother me.
He's the minister of magic.
I swear it's another C name.
I don't know. It's taking too long to find out. I'm not going to find it.
Is it not Cornelius Fudge?
I thought Fudge was the other dude.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I don't remember.
Order of the Phoenix. Ministry of Magic. Where is it? Who was the minister of magic? Cornelius Fudge.
Okay. It was.
Okay. Whatever. Okay, it's Cornelius Fudge. At the beginning, he's like, he is not back. And I love that, like, one of the very last things in the movie. He's like,
he's back.
He's back. I love it.
That's so good.
So just everything that happens is incredible.
Yeah.
I love the prophecy, which I want to get into more because what I've been doing this time that we've been watching the movies is when something comes up that they don't explain in the movie, I Google it.
Okay.
And I basically find a Reddit
so much
answer,
about it.
something on the Harry Potter website, something like that. And Google will usually like pull up like the main answer or whatever.
Right.
And this one I just thought was so interesting about the prophecy because in the past times I've watched this, I haven't really questioned like, what is this prophecy? Like, why does it matter? You know what I mean? And just finding all of that out about, what the prophecy meant and that, only certain people could read it or have it or whatever, all that kind of stuff. And then, the battle between Dumbledore and Voldemort is incredible. And Voldemort using the most powerful spell in all of Harry Potter is the coolest thing ever. Because Dumbledore, does Dumbledore throw the glass at him first? Yeah, it all breaks. Dumbledore gathers it. He throws it at Voldemort, who kind of catches it in midair.
Does he throw it at him?
I think so, because then Voldemort pushes it back at Dumbledore, who turns it into sand.
I think, well, no, doesn't he just dissipate the one spell and then the glass just breaks and then I think Voldemort just chucks it at him.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. But the spell
turns it to sand.
Is that Voldemort used is nya. He's like, yeah. And it's like people are using freaking stupefy, Avada Kedavra, and he just says nya.
Well, yeah, but they don't say any of their spells.
Except for nya.
Well,
everything else is silent. I think the spell of nya. No, I'm just making a joke. I just saw
That's hilarious.
It was just a meme I saw. It's like, never forget the time when Voldemort used the most powerful spell in all of Harry Potter. Yeah. It's really funny, but just
That's
like
awesome.
the creativity in that is so fun.
It's so
The
good.
fire, the water ball,
Yeah.
the VFX breakdown of that. Have you ever watched it?
Oh no, I bet
I'll
that's
send it
so
to you.
good.
So fun, but it's just really creative. All the things that they do, and I really like it. I think it's a fun movie, and yeah,
So what would you give your worst out of 10?
Chamber of Secrets
Is that your worst one?
out of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. Obviously, your fifth one's 10 out of 10.
Man, it's so hard. Like on a scale of Harry Potter, or a
Just
scale
like-
of movies.
Just your thoughts about it.
My gosh.
If we did a podcast on it and it was out of 10, what would you give it?
I would say that Chamber of Secrets is like a high 7s or 8 for me.
Oh, okay.
You think is that lower than you thought? Or
Yeah,
higher?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably give it like 8.
Okay.
And then Deathly Hallows is probably 8 as well. Goblet of Fire maybe low 8s, and it just kind of goes up. Prisoner of Azkaban's where things start getting like high 9s, where it's like 9.9, 9.8, something like that. I do think Prisoner of Azkaban, like I honestly would probably rate better. Like Prisoner of Azkaban and Deathly Hallows Part 2, I would probably rate better actually than The Half-Blood Prince as a movie. But I
That
think I
makes
just
sense.
enjoy The Half-Blood Prince a
Right,
little bit
right,
more
right.
personally, just as a preference.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, maybe 8's low.
Yeah, because I would say my lowest scoring, which would be 7 Part 1, I'd probably do like 8.8, and then everything
wow.
else is above that.
Is
That's where it's like none of these movies are bad.
yeah.
You know, almost all of them are 9 out of 10 or more. So I was just curious what your range was.
Yeah, I would say it's like low 8s up to the 10.
Okay.
So out of the one other thing I wanted to mention about Chamber of Secrets. And it's one of those fun things that I caught that I never caught before. When Harry gives Dobby the sock and Lucius gets all angry, he starts to say Avada Kedavra.
Oh, yeah. You never noticed that?
No,
Oh, yeah.
never noticed that's what he was about to say.
Yeah.
And this time, Courtney was like, he was just going to kill him in the
murder Harry
hall.
Potter. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It is bonkers. I was like, this guy's got balls, dude. Like, aren't they right outside of Dumbledore's office?
Yeah, yeah.
He's ready to murder
Harry
a
Potter
12-year-old
right
for
there.
stealing his elf.
Yeah.
This is the worst Christmas ever. But geez. Okay, question.
Yes.
Of the big live-action nerdy franchises, which
Okay.
I would consider to be Harry Potter, Marvel, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
and maybe some others, but those are like I would call
Star Trek.
the big four. Yeah, Star Trek is kind of just it always feels like an offshoot.
Star Trek it feels a little more
Niche.
yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Out of those, what would you rank as your kind of emotional involvement? And you can forget about like things that have screwed you over, but just like think about more not kid you, but just like at the peak of all of these, I guess, of your feelings about them, where do those rank for you? Starting with your favorite.
Marvel would probably be my number one.
Okay.
Because of Endgame.
Okay.
If you take Endgame out of it, it wouldn't be number one. But for some reason, I don't know why, but maybe it's the music or just the ending of Endgame. Not even just like how it ends, but the credits when they do the final. Is it the final 5 or final 4? And they have them and they sign their name off.
Yeah.
It just, that was 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years that they built from Iron Man.
Yeah.
That they didn't even know if it would do well, right?
Yeah.
And if Iron Man didn't do well, we would have none of this.
Right.
So, just an accumulation. I mean, I read comics growing up, and so it was a little more personal for me.
Yeah.
But just for some reason, how they ended that, it felt like this huge thing.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because you were, 15 when Iron Man came out?
Yeah.
And then you're 26 when
Yeah.
Endgame comes out. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's
a huge
your
thing.
formative years,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
Take Endgame out of it, and I would say Harry Potter would be my number one. And that's a lot of just moments with me and my wife.
Okay. Is she like big? Like, which one of you is the bigger Harry Potter nerd?
She's read all the books. She's read them more than I've listened to them. And she was obviously there like midnight, almost every single release of Harry Potter. Okay. But she is not like the, what house are you in? Or like, let's dress up.
Wait, what house are you?
I want wands and stuff.
What house are you?
I am Hufflepuff.
Dude, represent the lactose intolerant house. What's up? Same, bro. I'm not even lactose intolerant.
So she loves Harry Potter, but she is not one that's like, I need Harry Potter, like clothes or Harry Potter like silverware or like Harry Potter decorations. Yeah. But she loves them for the story and everything that they are.
Okay.
So I'd say Harry Potter and Marvel are kind of like hand in hand.
Okay.
Then Lord of the Rings and then Star Wars.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Obviously, your first one's going to be Star Trek.
Yes, Star Trek. Okay. Big Trekkie here. I think I saw the second one of the new movies and never saw the third.
Third one's good.
The first one I loved.
First one and the first two. Honestly, all three I think are great. It's a great little trilogy.
I should rewatch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars, and then honestly, Star Wars and then Marvel for sure.
Okay.
And then Harry Potter's like, every time I watch it, it kind of like sneaks up on me a little bit where I'm like, oh, let's watch Harry Potter. It's like, Harry Potter's fun because it wasn't something super formative for me, but now it's just like, I just realize how good it is every single time, and I get a little bit more invested every time I watch it. So I'd say Harry Potter's there, and then Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings is lower just because there's less of it, first of all. Just if you just go based off of the movies. There's 3 movies.
Yeah, because we don't talk about The Hobbit. Because no,
we do not talk about The Hobbit.
That's trash.
No. So there's 3 movies.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal, but for me, just as a movie watcher, they are, especially like 3, feels a little long. Oh, it feels like it drags a little bit, but I love it.
The ending of 3 definitely drags a lot.
But the ending of 3 is
ends like 8 times.
Hard. Yeah. But honestly, 1 and 2 are so good. 1, I don't know. There's something about 1 that's just it's so good.
It's so good.
And I love it. Like I could watch the second half of 1 on repeat forever.
Yeah. And all of 2.
The amount of times I try to go down my stairs like on a lid with my suction cup arrows when I was a kid. I mean, Two Towers came out in 2002. Oh. So I'm 6, right?
It's 2 when they're in, it is 2.
Helm's Deep.
When Legolas and Gimli he's like, I can't see what's happening. And he's like,
me get you a box.
Would you like me to get you a box?
Yeah, that's when they start their competition. Oh, gosh, and Helm's Deep is just so freaking cool.
See, I will throw all of that away, though, for Mary's song in the third one.
And the tomatoes?
Oh, my gosh.
You're a big tomato fan, huh?
Scene, that is probably one of the greatest just scenes ever made for me personally.
Wow.
It is so good. The song, the grossness of him eating those tomatoes and just like how little he is caring about his own son, and his son just willingly, without any complaint, going and knowing that they're all going to die.
Yeah.
And just doing it because his father has asked him to do it. And just the emotional weight of that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's true. It's really good. Okay.
So out of all the nerdy things, that scene's number 1.
Got it.
Across Harry Potter, Marvel, Star Wars.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one thing for us.
Okay.
A box office guess at the total of the Harry Potter 8 movies in the franchise.
Worldwide?
Yes, worldwide.
Okay. Not adjusted for inflation.
Not adjusted, just straight up. I'm like trying to think of what the number would be. Okay, I think I have my number.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay.
I
you have your
honestly, I
number?
just try to come up with a number as fast as I can so I don't cheat very much, you know, because I'm like trying to do all the math and stuff. But I think I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go and then you go.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 6.4 billion.
5.7.
Okay. You said 5.7?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of money. I said 6.4. Alrighty, here we
Oh,
go.
is
I'm
that
gonna see
too
if I can find
low?
it out. Harry Potter. What should I call it? The franchise total box office?
Yeah. Franchise box office.
All right. Oh, I was like, oh, that's just Chamber of Secrets. Because I pulled up and I was like 926 million, but Chamber of Secrets made
my gosh.
926
Okay,
million
I'm wrong,
dollars.
then.
So I might do okay.
Because I know 8 made 1.4 or 1.6 billion. Dude, we're so off then.
We're wrong.
Okay.
So
okay, hold on. New
this-
one. Okay, don't tell me.
Okay.
8.5 for my new one. Oh my gosh, 9? 9.5?
9.5. So
Oh my
this
gosh.
this says 9.58 billion dollars.
I didn't know Chamber
So
of
they
Secrets
averaged.
did
I didn't realize that they had averaged over
over
$1 billion.
Because 8 is the highest.
Wow.
And I think that was
Is it really?
Yeah, 8's the highest. And I think that was 1.4 or 1.6.
I don't know. Let me find out. Box office mojo.
Box office mojo.
Franchise. Oh, they always do this wrong though. Opening lifetime gross. Why do they only do Box Office Mojo needs help? Okay, let's just see. Deathly Hallows. Okay, part 2 made 1.356.
Oh. I thought it was 1.4.
Well, if you round up, it's
Yeah.
1.4.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, if the last one, which is the highest, made 1.3, 1.4 billion, that's why I was thinking the rest didn't make that much or as high.
Yeah, because part 1 only made 972 million, obviously. Number 6 made 934. So where did all this money come from?
Yeah.
Number 5 made 939.
Okay. This isn't adding up.
Oh, I spelled Gulbit.
Goblet of fire. Goblet of water.
Okay. Goblet of Fire made 897.
What?
Did Prisoner of Azkaban only like $7 bajillion? Prisoner of Azkaban made 807.
Maybe
Chamber of
that's
Secrets made
adjusted
9
for
something.
inflation.
It's possible. And Chamber of Secrets.
I mean, Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh yeah, Sorcerer's Stone.
Because that doesn't add up.
No, it does not. Made just over $1 billion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really add up.
That doesn't add up.
Well,
no, because that would equal out to be like, I would say 8 billion. Because if you got 1.3, let's say 1.4, you have just over $1 billion, right?
yeah.
So that's 2.4, and then everything else was like 9 and 8s. So that would equal out to almost 8 billion.
1.4 and then plus 1 plus, and then everything else probably averaged around
About
9,
nine.
right?
Yeah. So 6
So
movies at
there's
9,
6 movies. 2,
which is 54,
3, 4,
5.4,
5,
and then you add
6.
2.4.
Yeah, it's
You're
around
basically
probably around 8.
almost 8, yeah.
Let's see one more time.
Which is still way higher than I thought it was.
Franchise.
Are they counting Fantastic Beasts in that?
It's possible. Harry Potter films.
Because Fantastic Beasts didn't do super well.
This is in total the Harry Potter movies made around $7.7 billion.
Okay. So it's probably Fantastic Beasts that they were
You're
adding
probably
on to
right.
that.
I still won.
Yeah, you did. Dang.
I want everybody to know.
That's so much higher than I thought.
But still really close to averaging $1 billion.
Yeah. That's insane.
For 8 to be able to do that for 8 movies is crazy.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
And that's just the movies.
Yeah.
They've made
That's true.
hundreds of billions of dollars
Off
of Universal
everything
Studios, merchandise,
Yeah. My goodness.
all of that other crap.
Well, Merry
Okay.
Christmas, y'all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
I hope it's a great one.
Yeah.
We'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Watch Harry Potter.
Yeah. And I think it's your turn to bring us home.
Oh. It is my turn. This has been another very, very good Harry Potter episode of Ron eating apples. Cornelius takes ibuprofen.
Nice.
Only next to
I thought you were going to say Nargles.
only next to idiots. Maybe elephants.
Time is a very difficult one. It never ends. There's no ending word that it starts with an E for some reason.
It doesn't
We
work.
can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay,
I need to go
bye.
blow out a candle.